Yo, welcome out there, my friends, friends new and friends old, popping in tonight. Hello on this big, wonderful Monday night. Monday night used to have a big meaning to me when I was a sports fan way back when. I don't know. Hope I'm being heard, by the way. I don't know what I'm going to do without it. It's still a weird thing, but there was a time when Monday nights were special to me when I was a football fan. But what the hell? It's more special to get out here and talk some geek stuff on an open geek night on a Monday night late with great friends. Again, friends old, friends new. My, of course, great new friend, the amazing Eric K. Master of Wrenches. Thank you for being here, sir. My old, but not too old, just as since known him many years. The great Charles McCrath, my good buddy. Thank you for being here. And the extraordinary Master of Valhalla himself has popped in to say hello to us. And he is, of course, the great maker of, who I was about to credit, and there he pops in right there. I was about to credit my great, wonderful intro that he made for me, Loki. The great, let's see, Loki's Mornings of Mischief, my good friend. And again, I made so many wonderful friends here. And another old friends from the old BTR days, Just Joe 4. Hey, bro. Great jobber. What's up, man? If I'm always setting things on fire, does that make me the Johnny to Cloud? Yeah, absolutely. Flame on. That means you have to really give me a hard time, though, man, because you know how Johnny used to treat Ben. Those two fought like cats and dogs. So no question about it, bro. Thanks for popping in, Loki. Great to see you, my friend. And again, of course, there is a link in my description below to Loki's great channel and the great channels of many other friends here. Welcome, everyone. This is Clobberin Times issue number 44, actually. Real numbering, 744. Because I've been doing this a long time, but over here, I'm a newbie. Over here on YouTube, I'm a newbie, big time. And but yes, Loki's channel and many other great channels that you should go check out, to some wonderful other YouTube channels, friends of mine. Bunch of them down there. If you've not subscribed to any of those, please do. And if you have not subscribed to me yet, please do. I crossed a big for me anyway, big landmark the other day. Thanks again. A big shout out to the great Doomcock for giving me that shout out and get me just over the 2 mark. It's only 200, still baby steps, but you know, you got to start somewhere, and I appreciate it. I just do this for fun anyway, so it doesn't matter. And I'm having a blast doing this. Had a great time with my buddy, the great Mark C, talking comics and his collection and different things like that this past Saturday night. Mark with a C. Hey, buddy. Thanks for popping in. Great to see you, sir. And had a fantastic time with him tonight. I was looking at the YouTubes. Every night I try to find a night to settle on, and I should probably see what Loki thinks about this one of these days. Yeah, everyone has a niche night, but because I'm new, there's so many. I haven't really been able to settle on and stick with a night, other than, you know, I've been doing kind of Mondays a little bit, and Saturdays have usually been a big night for me. But these waves are just so crowded. So many people doing shows all tonight. Every night I try to think of one, and I'll see somebody going, "Oh, there's a good YouTuber that I would be watching if I wasn't streaming tonight." And there's a good one on tonight. There's a bunch of great people on tonight right now. And I just realized you can't really go by that. Otherwise, you could never do a stream. So you just do one and you just wing it and you do what you got to do. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually doing this tonight, and then tomorrow night at 9 Central, doing another one, an open stream, because my old buddy Flash, and I know Charlie, you know Flash from the old BTR days, and Jobber, you know Flash. He hasn't been able to join me that much. He always rode shotgun with me and was my co-host for almost a decade, you know, being such a great pal. Hasn't had much of a chance to be on with me here since I moved to YouTube. So tomorrow night he's going to come and ride with me tomorrow night a little bit. And so we're just going to hang and do the open geek type stuff. That's what we have been doing. But yeah, how do you settle on a night? You can't now. There's so much going on. So many people out there doing it. I don't know what you do. I guess you guys are hearing me, right? Just if you know, you can be doing. And let's see what that looks. Just stream, but hell yeah, don't worry about who's going to dip. Thank you, man. I do appreciate that. But like I said, I don't mean to step on anyone's toes. Because you never know who's scheduling when. You don't know who's regular. You just kind of find a time. And you're not that I would be, and I'm not affecting anyone anyway. But it's not like I do it because I know they're on. I just don't know they're on. And let's see what Jobber says. Hey, Mike, I've been getting some good deals on TV shows and DVDs. I started watching the late 80s War of the Worlds. I remember that series. With the late Jared Martin. Yep, Richard Chavis from Predator. That was a pretty cool show. I used to watch that. It came on late at night. I always loved the original not original, but the 1953 Gene Barry, George Powell War of the Worlds classic. Oh, Eric, thanks, man. That's true. You would have. I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, you are right. Yes, you would have. And I hear you, Loki, and that's what I've just come to that conclusion, because there have been a couple of times since I started doing this where I scheduled that I saw that there was a bunch of people on that have the really big channels that I even like to listen to, and I just kind of changed it or moved it or just canceled it altogether a couple of times. And that's just it didn't have that problem on Blog Talk Radio. So, yeah, you just got to do what you got to do, I say. I'm going to get a better microphone soon because I don't know how this one sounds to you guys. I can't stand when I listen. I mean, I hate my voice anyway, but I can't stand how I sound when I go back, when I listen. Yeah, you know what, Loki? That's true. Space Above and Beyond was a pretty good show. That was by Glenn Morgan and James Wong, who did a bunch of the great X-Files episodes, and then one of the better ones. My buddy Latino Slant, Paulie's been doing the X-Files watch parties on Thursday nights. And you West X-Files fans out there, by the way. And those guys worked on X-Files for a long time, and Space Above and Beyond didn't get much of a chance. There you go, Mark. So you always record me on the VCR. There you go, bro. But I got a few things to go over tonight. Again, a lot with all the horrible crap going on in the world and all the politics and all that kind of crap. I just want to have fun geeking out a little bit. Like I said, I had a great time geeking out with my good buddy Mark C the other night. Just showing some comics and showed a bunch of his collection. It was just like a basic open comics geek talks. We hadn't done that in a while. And tomorrow night I'll be doing an open. When the next Saturday night, a buddy of mine who is a hardcore Uber collector and serious big-time collector, Courtney Blackman, thank you for popping in. And the Slant says hi. Oh, good, cool. Hello, Slant. But he's an Uber collector. And I don't know if any of you even remember these. I don't know if we're spinning our wheels by having this conversation, but any of you remember the Treasury editions, the very big, oversized, almost like life-size magazine comic book, mostly reprints, but not all. Actually, only Marvel called them treasuries. But they were tabloid-size comic reprints and sometimes news stories. DC did some actual news stories in them. And a few other companies did them as well, but mostly Marvel and DC. Well, I've always been a rabid fan of those and a big collector of those. I got a pretty decent treasury collection. But my friend, Wes, has just very recently got them all. And he finished all of his collection, and not just all the Marvels and the DCs, but all the other companies and stuff. And if any of you do even remember those, I mean, hopefully some people who do, some people still remember them. I mean, yeah, because they mostly stopped them in the early 80s. And sometime in the early 2000s, they started doing a few here and there, like those big Alex Ross ones. But we love those things. And we're going to kind of talk about the history of the treasury / tabloid oversized, supersized comics, and maybe 5 people will even care about them or whatever. But but before we, I got a couple of comics things to talk about here and there. We, don't have to be on too long, I guess. But that's just what I was going to say, Jobber. I think we should all geeks owe something to this man. And my good buddy Loki this morning actually talked about it on his show. But sorry, Loki, I never sleep anymore, so by the time I'm always kind of knocked out around that time. I hate when I miss the show in the morning. I try to get up in time. I just slept a lot this morning because I didn't sleep at all last night. But David Prowse. Oh, let's see, Latino Slam. Hey, man. Paulie! Courtney Blackman. He's about done with his first. Oh, he's got a comic book coming out. Oh, Courtney, hey, look, I'd like to hear about that comic book sometimes. Are you going to come on one of these days and tell us about it once you get it all straightened up and all out there? I'd love to hear about it, sir. That'd be fantastic. But yeah, David Prowse, and it's gone. Everyone's talked about it and paid tribute to us, so I thought I would at least post this and just say, that's right, man. He played Darth Vader. He was in Clockwork Orange. He was on Doctor Who, the Avengers, and of course the British Avengers. He bulked up Christopher Reeve. Was he in Time Bandits, I believe, or something like that? And he's been in a lot of stuff. So hail to him. He was Darth Vader. He was the body of Darth Vader. He was, so you could say definitely he was half responsible for bringing that character into its eminence, into just to make him an icon. And I hope he'd led a long, happy life. I know he was 85 or something like that, something around there. And just rest in peace, sir. God bless you, David Prowse. And thank you, sir. You've done so much for all of us geeks who love Star Wars and other things, sir. Absolutely. So, and we salute you. All of us salute you. So, yeah, well, Courtney, yes, again, I would really much like to hear about that. I love that there are people out there who still want to do comic books and are doing them their own way. That's important. Wonderful things like what's going on with Comicsgate and all the other crowdfunded comics and things like that. However you're planning to put yours out there, Courtney, just the fact that you love making comics, you love comics, and you want to make your own. If you're making your own, you love comics, you love the art form. I love the art form. And and this Friday, by the way, I'm just so honored. I'm embarrassed, of course. I'm embarrassed because I'm so honored. And I'm nervous, but I'm going to be on the show of the wonderful, beautiful, just amazing Lorena Creole, who has a wonderful channel, by the way. Check her channel out as well. I don't know if I put the description in below, but if I didn't, I need to put that in there. Lorena's show. Indie. Okay, it's going to be absolutely an indie book. All right, well, excellent. Lorena Creole is a wonderful lady who is, of course, friend to all of us here on YouTube, just with a marvelous channel, and just got monetized just the other day. So congrats to her on that. And I will be a guest Friday morning on her Friday morning show. I think it's going to be 12 Eastern, so it'll be 11 my time. I'm going to be a guest on there with her and our good buddy Fat Steven Seagal. Of course, we'll be there. She's invited me, and she wants me to help her look at some of her comics and tell her what she's got here. And it sounds like she's got a bunch of G.I. Joe comics, and I can't wait to ask, wait a minute, a beautiful woman bought G.I. Joe comics? Did that happen? Girls don't buy comics. I'm going to tease her, but I'm just kidding. I hope she wouldn't get mad at that. Kidding. We know ladies love comics. So that's an old cliche. They say girls don't. But they do. But I got to admit, I've never met a woman that likes G.I. Joe comics. Truth be told, I didn't buy a lot of those. I was at a different age when those came out or whatever. But I'm going to help her, try to tell her what she's got. She wants me to just give her a ballpark if she has anything valuable or not like that. I don't know what they are. She said G.I. Joe. There may be some other ones. I'm a little rusty now. I don't know if I'm the man for the job. But I will certainly do my best to try to help her out. And, of course, just to hang out with her and talk with her will be an honor. I cannot believe they would ask someone like me, I'm a nobody, to come on their show. But I will do my best to help her out there. She is just a sweet, wonderful, and beautiful lady. So please go check out our channel because she does shows throughout the week. And this Friday, again, it'll be, I believe, 12 Eastern. I'll be on there with her. We'll be talking comics and collectible comics and things like that. So, again, yeah. And by the way, my friend Wes, whom I was talking about, who's also a big Star Wars fan, but also a huge comic book collector, who's going to be on with me Saturday night talking about treasuries. He's a hardcore collector. Hardcore collectors are that. They're hardcore. And of course, we've got a lot of them. We got our buddy 24/7. He's a hardcore collector, too. I need to get him back on here, and we need to talk some collecting one day. But Wes is one of the funny things about that, and so one of the kind of funny things I had to do here tonight because I was just enjoying this website. He's collecting. Get this now, and he's a little bit younger than me, but he was born in 1968, in February of 1968, and he's collecting. He wants to get every comic that came out the month he was born. I don't know if you've ever heard about that. I've never heard anyone doing that before till him. Now, that ain't easy, folks, and that's expensive. He's got a bunch of them, by the way. So, I don't know if any of you are familiar with this, but there is a website, a blog, that on which you can find out what, when any comic book came out, the month and the date and the day, and you can put your birthday and your birthday month on there and find out which comics came out the day you were or the month you were born. And like you say, Mark, see, that's expensive. Well, he's, I don't know how he affords it, but he's doing it. So it made me crack up. And I was going, wow, dude, are you crazy? What's that about Prowse there, man? Thought Star Wars Prowse did speak the lines, but Lucas wanted a deeper voice, so he went. That's true. Yeah, that is true. And look, let's be honest. We love Prowse, but we love James Earl Jones, too. That voice and the way Prowse, moved around in the costume complement each other and make the character iconic. That's why I say they're like two great creators who got together and collaborated, put together with, of course, the conceptualization of the character, and they both deserve an extraordinary amount of credit for making Darth Vader what he is. So, sure, James Earl Jones is that voice, and he's a powerful voice. He's wonderful. But you don't slide what David Prowse did either. You can't. So what he did was and he's just as part of that, much a part of that character of Darth Vader than James Earl Jones is, and his creators, George Lucas, and other people who helped write the character, and a lot of people helped write and flesh out the character of Darth Vader, not just George Lucas, Gary Kurtz, Lawrence Kasdan to some degree, Lee Brackett, and others. So a lot of things went into the creation of Darth Vader, or a lot of people. But as far as the guys who made him work, David Prowse made him walk, and James Earl Jones made him talk. So, yeah, got to give them both that credit. But this, let's see here. Let's see. There we go. There we go. This is I don't know. It's kind of funny. All right, let's see here. But okay. I don't know. I guess you can see this better than I can. I don't know if you can see this thing. I haven't done a lot of screen sharing yet, but if you look how many comics came out the month he was born. This is 1968. That's a lot of comics. I don't know. So when I look at the ones that came out the month I was born, I was like, man, I could never afford all those. And he's getting them all, which is crazy stuff. But there's even let's see. There's not just a lot of comics. There's an Iron Man #1 and a #2. They both came out that same month. I'm talking big money right there. But I love this blog. It's great. You go in there and you can put whatever the year and month you were born, and you can find out what comic books came out that month. And then you can go back in time and buy them. Because if you buy them now, contrary to popular belief, they're going to be very expensive. So. What the hell? I'm doing there we go. There we go. So again, I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit. Oh, Venkman. Venkman, it's great to see you again, my friend. Always good for you to pop in. Yeah, that's a great. It's just amazing. It is a great resource. I absolutely agree. It is a wonderful site. I just love it, man. I also use it all the time. So, especially for collectors, if you just like to see what's going on and stuff like that. Let's see here. Born. Okay. Let's see here. You were born June of that same year. Let's see. Man, I wonder what comics came out the month you were born, man. Let's see. Okay. So, June, eh? Mark with the C, you were born June of that month. All right, let me see here something. Let's see what I'm going to see what comics came out. See if there's any really big landmark issues. Man, you got Spider-Man number 64 by Ramita. Man, look how many comics Archie put out by then. It's amazing. Let's see. Oh man, Daredevil 43. Oh, Brave and the Bold number 79. Look at that Adams cover. Captain America 105. I'm in a lot of great stuff. Adam 38. Avengers 55, dude. See if you got some really expensive stuff here that's going to cost you. You got FF78, like you said. So Iron Man number 5. Wow, Justice League 64. That's huge. Looks like first Red Tornado. I remember that Marvel Superheroes Phantom Eagle. A Polymini? How do you say? Let's see. A Polymes? Is it a Polymes minion? Is that how you say it? I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but welcome, welcome, welcome. So great to see you here. Yeah, these aren't cheap. These aren't cheap, but let's see here. And of course, you got the Monkeys comics. Those are expensive. Wow, you got Shield number 4 with the amazing Steranko cover, and Army at War 196 with that amazing. I think that's a Hubert cover right there. Good guy, man. You got some great covers in your month, man. I got some great ones on my month too, but I'm many years before this. But oh, you got a Kirby Thor. Wow, got a World's Finest. You got X-Men number 47. Oh man, I love that FF78. And I love that Daredevil cover. That's a classic cover of Daredevil there. Yeah. Well, you got some good stuff there too. Also, Mark with a C. You go broke getting all those, man. I mean, sheesh. But he's got a bunch of his, but I mean, again, that's a lot of comics. You know, sometimes I'll go to the site and I'll put in a month of a year when I was, either when I was buying comics, whether I was working in the shop or not, just to see how many titles I was buying at certain points. I'm in trouble now. To see how many comic books I was buying in any given month, just for the hell of it, I'll put a random month and year in there. They'll bring back memories. Now, Eric K, get ready. Get ready, Eric K, because I have to say it. I won't say that I put it this like. Put it like I can't. I have to say it. There's no way around it. I have to say it. I won't even say I owned one. I just worked because I worked in several shops as well as owned one. But when I see these, go through these comics and all these different times, back when I was buying comics, and try to say I bought that one. I try to remember, did I buy that one or what? Or did I buy that one? Or did I? Oh, I definitely bought that one. I definitely bought this one, and so on. I get them all. They kind of run together because whether I bought them or not, I know I handled them at some point. Latito Slide again. There you go. Hey, buddy, what's up, Polly? Every one of these things kind of run together at that point. But it's fun to see all these old comics and when they came out and stuff like that, so you can kind of bring you back. Comics. You like that one better, Eric? I'm working on it, brother. My wife won't mind more comics in the house if I can get the 6 long boxes out of the dining room before Christmas. Only 6 long boxes? I'm sure you got more than that elsewhere, though, buddy. So, I always like those shorter boxes better. The long boxes got on my nerves after a while. I guess I had to lift them so much. I once had the bag board, before boards, but bag and rebag and grade and price, a collection of over 100-something thousand comics. This is back in the early or mid 80s, whatever, early 80s. And yes, it took a long time. It took a long time. My goodness. And those comics ended up scattered all over the place. Here we go. Yes, sir, class. It's a secret. What would I do without you, Eric K? You the man. Only Eric gets to make that joke, though. Anybody else? And I'm gonna. Well, I can't threaten anybody. I can threaten anybody but Paulie, because Paulie's so tough he could kick my ass from 2,000 miles away without even blinking. Not that would be much of anybody really could. I mean, because I'm just old and everything now. But yeah, wouldn't be much of an accomplishment, but he could do it. Oh man. Yep. Only Eric gets to make that joke. Not true. Everybody gets to make that joke. Who am I talking to? Yeah. But I don't know, man. Yeah, we're gonna do more. And let's see, we got some more comics conversation coming up again soon. Not just Saturday night with Wes, but up in Spokane. Never been up that far. And speaking of comic shops, I'm trying to remember how to say it. Apollonie's Minion, is that right? If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. I'm a dumbass. I read comics. See, that's my idea of fun, is to go drive all over the country and hit comic shops, man. Just go and hit them all. With a couple of geeks, just go all over the place. I know you can't do it anymore because there aren't very many of them left, I guess. But there's still enough. That's what I would do if I could. I'd get a big old, big old RV and do that. So, but yeah. So anyway, that's fun. Let's see. Take that out. Boom. Yeah. Anyway, that's fun stuff. That again. So we'll be doing that again. We'll be talking treasuries. Do any of you even have any treasury editions? Any of you? Because now they're expensive. Now they're just ridiculous. So, does anybody out there collect any comics? Anybody out there? Because, collect comics, not buy new ones. New ones are. I don't know if you buy new. Maybe you buy new ones. Do you buy new ones? Is anyone buying any of this new stuff? Is anyone buying the new Starfire? Starfire's daughter thing? I didn't really. The only reason why I haven't mentioned that yet was it not Starfire's daughter thing yet, is because everyone's done videos on it. I guess you all know about it now, right? Let's see here. Basement is a few more. Broke our dining table during Hurricane Sandy when I stacked too many on the table. And since I was worried about the flow. Oh, yeah. I hear you there. I don't know. I already forgot. I forgot, Polly, who owned what. Yeah, big meanie. Oh man, I don't know. I guess maybe I just hallucinated owning it, Eric. Maybe it didn't happen at all. I could have just imagined it. Man. Those are some good times, though. Those were some clobbering times. That's what they were. Ba-doom, boom. So tomorrow night, I will be doing this, but before that, it's 7 Eastern. Oh, excuse me. Shut up. 7 Central. 8 Eastern. I'll be on. I think I'll be on with Loki. You guys, are we doing anything? What's? I don't know what the deal is for tomorrow night, but I think so. I think we're doing something. He always does one on Saturday night. Yeah. But I don't know what the topic is. Well, truer words were never spoken about that. Life is just a fantasy when you live this fantasy life. Yeah, that is true, my friend. Eric, that is true. And I'm all about that. I do live a fantasy life, bro. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know. I just love talking geek stuff. I keep seeing all the serious talk going all over the place, and I don't know. Just gets kind of, I don't know, kind of weird. We live in a world now where DC just does comics about Starfire's unhappy daughter, unhappy daughter. I guess you all saw that. Was it Not Starfire's Daughter? What's it called? I'm Not Starfire's Daughter or something? Is that what it is? Okay. I've already forgot the title. Everyone's done. I've seen so many videos on it today. I got kind of burned out. It's pretty dumb. But that's DC. And I guess you've all seen the picture of it. I'll check and see. I mean, you've probably all heard about this. What was it? Starfire's daughter? What's that stupid thing called? Oh, there it is. Images. Yeah. God, man. Why? Why would you do this? Hear loud stuff. Like a Jim's upside. Oh boy. There it is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, she looks like the author. Okay. And everyone else has talked about it, so why not? Let's see here. Let's go to a source I respect at least. All right, this is by DC and Scholastic, and she's a goth girl down. I don't know if this article, because this is the article. This is an article I have not read yet. I've seen videos. Any of you have seen videos on this? I guess you could kind of, if you could let me know where I'm going astray here. Who did she have a kid with? Are they saying who the father is? Is it Dick Grayson? Wow. Is it Dick Grayson? I don't know. I can't tell, but the point everyone is trying to make about this is you can do any comic that you want. They can. This young woman could make any comic book she wants to make. She could have made up her own. Yeah, it looks like the father is the penguin. That's what a lot of people have been saying. Look, why DC? The point is, I don't know this young woman. I can't see it being Dick Grayson's kid. I mean, I read the book. None of us read. Yeah, this is for real, Paulie. This has been talked about a little bit all afternoon. apparently she hates her mother, Starfire, and decides to go goth. And that's the progeny of Starfire and somebody. The jokes have all been the Penguin. Now, there's been I've seen, I don't think they have a picture on here. And look, I don't want to insult the young woman who wrote this thing. That's not what I'm about. Yeah, so she hates her mother, so she eats, I guess. Yeah. But I've seen pictures of the woman or young woman, whatever she is, who's written this thing. It's for DC, but it's Scholastic. And this is very, very typical of, she injected herself into this comic book, apparently, because this Starfire's daughter looks a lot like the woman. I've seen a picture of the woman. I don't think there's one on this article, which is fine. I'm not running down anyone. Look, hey, I live in a glass house when it comes to appearance. I'm a big fat old man. I don't throw stones at anybody. So I'm not knocking her appearance. All I'm saying is we have this extraordinarily egotistical generation that needs to see themselves in these characters, in the characters that they read or watch, which is ridiculous. So another great point, Mark with a C rather. If she's Starfire's daughter, why is she, even if she's crossbred with a human, why is she not at least partially orange? I don't know. And of course, we know that from what we know about the story, she doesn't have powers. It's total garbage. But you know what? They can make this garbage all they want. I mean, DC doing it is what's stupid. If this woman wanted to make her own crowdfunded comic or an independent comic book, or Scholastic wanted to do something, make up some ersatz knockoff superhero type, and then knock yourself out. Go to town with it. Nobody wants to buy or read this crap, but the market will decide. DC Comics using Starfire for this crap is stupid. Yeah, it's going to be adopted, I guess. So I don't care what she looks like or that she's gay or any of that kind of crap. These are the people who are obsessed with identity politics and that kind of stuff. But like I said, I don't give a shit if you do a comic book like this. DC doing it with one of their established characters, it just shows how tone deaf they are, because nobody wants to read this shit. Nobody. They're gonna be Scholastic. So they're gonna be forcing kids to read this shit in school, like Gotham High and other things. And it was Give Me an Ocean, whatever the hell that stupid Aqualad thing was. And I guarantee you kids don't like this shit either. Kids in schools, that they're going to be forcing this crap down their throats, are going to look at this shit and say, this is garbage. And Starfire is not like Superman or Batman or Spider-Man level popular, but she has some popularity because, the old Teen Titans cartoons and things like that. And I guarantee you, kids who know who Starfire is don't want to see this kind of bullshit. Kids who might like her from the cartoons or what have you don't want to see this crap, DC. And they don't want to read this shit. If they want, if you did, just do a Starfire comic book for them where she's having an adventure or something. It can be aimed at younger readers. But whatever target base you have left, and you have barely any audience, really, they're not going to want to buy this crap. And the kids you're aiming this shit at don't like it either. Nobody wants this. I am not Starfire. No, you're not. New York Times best-selling author Mariko Tamaki. Okay. Art by Yoshi Yashinchi, whatever. I don't know. Again, look, I'm not knocking that woman. I mean, I think she's dumb writing this shit. Injecting herself into this thing. Because she does. And look, I've seen the picture. She looks like this kid. She's not a kid, or she's not a child, but she looks like this kid on this cover here. And I saw a couple of people showed pictures of her. I don't really want to go looking for a picture of her. I'm not here to denigrate her or run her down or anything like that, or insult her. Yeah, I'm saying she's a dumbass for doing this crap. She's definitely an SJW moron. But I'm not going to mess with her appearance. I just think this is stupid. And it just speaks again, as so many people have said so often. But we still have to keep saying it because it's true. That there's something so crazy about this narcissistic generation that needs to see themselves in a physical way, physically see themselves in the things that they read or watch or to enjoy for supposed escapism. Escapism. I don't get it. Well, maybe I do get it, but it's a shame. I kind of know where they're coming from. Like I said, it's narcissism and it's victimhood stuff. But really, what are you doing? Why? I mean, there's no market for this crap. And the 50 friggin' SJWs out there who are going to see it or hear about this and applaud it and think it's so great, they don't buy comics. Yeah, Eric. It is. I am not my mother. What does she hate Starfire for? What does she hate? Now, look, everyone has issues with their parents and shit, but what I did see one video talking about how something like the girl is so sick of her mother that that's why she becomes this way and she leaves the country or something like that. She's embarrassed of her mother. Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Well, she needs to, she wants to distance herself from her mother. Yeah, her evil mother who is such a bad person. She's a superhero who saves people and fights evil. Yeah, what a bitch. But yeah, Mark, see, the deconstruction of the superhero is nothing new. And that is part of it. But they've been doing that really a long time, really since the late 70s and the early 80s. People have, and this is a similar mindset. It's just evolved, or I should say it has devolved to a point where it's that, and there's a lot of other factors. But yes, I've always said that the people who have to deconstruct superheroes, and this is almost a different discussion, but there's some relation. The people who have to deconstruct superheroes, they want to see themselves in these heroes, and they want to drag them down like idiots like David S. Goyer, who has had no talent. It's one thing if you're Alan Moore or Frank Miller, and some of these people who you could question why they did what they did with a lot of this deconstruction of superhero comics. Great ones like Watchmen, ones like Dark Knight Returns, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it's huge and it's popular. And things like that Miller did with Batman and even Daredevil, which I love as Daredevil. But at least they had talent. At least they could write. And the deconstructionism did fascinate me as a young person, as a young comic book reader. And those are still great comics. Watchmen is a masterpiece of comic book storytelling. It's a masterpiece. And multiple things can be true at the same time. As much as I love it, I collected everything there was to do with real Watchmen, the Warren Gibbons Watchmen, none of this new shit later, like after what was it? After Watchmen or Beyond Watchmen or Before Watchmen and all these other bullshits they've done later. Just the Moore one. Not even the movie. And certainly not the horrible HBO trash show. But as much as I love the old comic, I admit that they probably shouldn't have done it. Alan Moore is a little extreme about his opinion of his old Watchmen comic, and I don't necessarily agree with him on that either. Yeah, it's a lot like the Man of Steel movie. Absolutely, Zack Snyder has a big following and everything. Zack Snyder's a nice guy, but he fully admitted he didn't like Superman or get Superman, and yet he took the job, and he shouldn't have been offered the job. As soon as someone, again, call me crazy, but if I were offered somebody, hey, you want to do a Superman movie or a Batman movie or a Star Trek movie or whatever it is, and the first things out of their pie hole is, I really don't like that character. Okay, well, that's cool. You don't have to like him, but you're not doing the movie. That's a bit of another topic. But that's the way I feel about the whole Zack Snyder doing Man of Steel. That's why Man of Steel is a bastardization of Superman, in my opinion, in a terrible movie, a horrible movie. And as is, BS versus VS. But you do something like this, at least those were trying to be somewhat they were trying to be adventure stories. I just didn't like the direction or the tone that they took with those things, with Zack Snyder or with any of these other things. This is something a bit different. It's along those lines, but it's not really deconstructing so much. It's just interjecting themselves. Now, it is similar. David S. Goyer and I think Zack Snyder, when it comes to Man of Steel, they did inject themselves into it in the sense that they couldn't stand Superman being a pure icon and something joyous. So they sucked all the joy and fun out of this character of Superman and made him a downer and a dour, downer of a kind of guy. And they brought him down. They didn't aspire. The problem with Man of Steel is they don't aspire to Superman's level. They want to drag him down into the sewer with them. And that's why they fundamentally did not understand Superman. This is a lot like that. It's not necessarily deconstructionist, but it is, let's take Starfire and portray her as a bad mom. Usually it's bad dads with these people. I don't know if the dad is in this thing, but I'm not sure. And let's project ourselves, and it's this author, let's project ourselves, in this case, this author, into the story and show, let's mix two things that don't go together. Fire and gasoline. Let's put them together and let's just make something that just burns and it doesn't really do any good. It just burns things up. And that's what you've got here. You're putting your real world problems and your real world self, and you're projecting all of your neurotic, insecurities into what should be just a comic book with a fantasy type, fairy tale kind of hero in Starfire. You're trying to blend too much reality with too much fantasy just so you can talk about yourself and your insecurities and your problems. That's what you're doing, Mariko, if I may call you Mariko. That's what you're doing with this comic book, or in this graphic novel, or whatever you want to call it. It's not a graphic novel. Well, sort of. For DC, and that's what you're allowing DC. You're letting her do that to a character that appeals to a lot of people. And welcome, Dieter. That is absolutely so true. It's just like the CW. It's people who don't like comics writing a CW show in a comic book setting. Absolutely, because that's what the CWs are. Those are people that don't really know or like comics very well. I don't think Greg Berlanti certainly doesn't understand comic book characters. He's proven that time and again with his CW crap, in my opinion. And that's what this is. This is just projection. It's putting your own problems in a comic book that's with Starfire in it. You're using Starfire, in a sense, as a vehicle to preach your own little neurotic, SJW messaging to propagate that. That's what you're doing. And it's moronic. And there's no call for it. If it wasn't Scholastic backing this thing up, DC couldn't even. I don't think DC could get it off the ground. Starfire's never been like the most popular character. Like I say, she was certainly made more popular with the cartoons that were done, but the Cartoon Network shows and stuff that have been done, a little people know more about her. And now she's on that Titans show where she's not even orange on there. And they've given her a costume now. I don't watch the Titans show. A lot of people seem to like it. It's not my bag, but I know people like that sort of thing. But yeah, and I guess it will be, I don't know who will read this. I know a lot. Let's see here. Well, look, I don't know who will read this. Modern kids, though, that these Scholastic books are aimed at, because no comic book shop readers are going to give a shit about this, probably. And I guess, and again, I don't know what Scholastic, what their distribution is like now. Schools aren't even open, but I mean, when they put this thing in schools, what kids are going to pick this up and want to check this out of the library or whatever it is, however this works, or who's going to buy this crap? Nobody. So like I said, you could do this kind of crap if you want to, but It's not going to sell. DC, you're a business. Well, you're going out of business. Go figure. You're going out of business. That's for sure. But there was a time, look, when there was sanity in the comic book industry. I know I'm going way back here, but this would be laughed off the table in any editor. It would never even be proposed, but you would have to go through certain channels to get any comic book published. And I'm talking before Scholastic, and they'll take anything. They're idiots. But I just wonder who signs off on this shit. Jim Lee, I mean, would Jim Lee cannot be this stupid. I guess he's probably not doing anything anymore. I know he's probably not in charge anymore. I forget that woman's name who's signing off on this crap. You know, but who owns DC right now? AT&T or something? Does nobody watch these people? Or maybe this print run is going to be so low it's this negligible loss. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't looked that far into it. But I got to admit one thing. I am almost curious about one thing. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate that. I got to admit to you all, I'm curious about one friggin' thing here. One fucking thing I'm curious about. Who's the father? If someone knows and you've seen, because there have been videos on it today, everyone's making the joke about it being the Penguin. Which is pretty funny. So everyone's making jokes about being the Penguin. Unless you've actually seen, do we know? Has anyone said that it's Dick Grayson? Look! I don't read current comics, so Starfire could be with someone else right now. I don't know, Dean. Unless I'm actually interested. I got to admit, I want to know. I got to admit, maybe Mariko is a better writer than I give her credit for, because this is so goddamn stupid. She's made me want to know who the fucking father is. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't know. There's the good thing. The Fandom Menace will have some courageous soul. Gary with Nerdrotic will probably read this crap and review it. He'll probably order it. I mean, he ordered, he was going to, if they'd ever put out that stupid New Warriors, he was going to read it. Eric, okay. Maybe it was a crossover. She made it with a blob. So it'll be a Marvel DC crossover then. Could be it. And she looks human, so how could she be? Oh, by the way, one thing I do know about the stupid story, she takes Coriander's name. Coriander, of course, is Starfire's name. And she also tries to avoid spending time with her mother. And when she's not doing that, the press release implies that one of the main conflicts of the book is the fact that she walked down on her SAT. Oh my God, comic book drama. Step over. What the hell? Move over, Secret Wars. Step out of the way, Crisis on Infinite Earths. What are you saying here? Age of Apocalypse, Civil War. Screw that. We got a character that stepped out on her SAT. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She skipped out on her SAT and has plans to move to France. Thrilling. Edge of your seat stuff for a comic book. Yeah, like I said, a lot of people have done videos on it, so I'm not breaking any ground here. I just thought I wanted to say a few things about it because it's pretty funny. Why is this interesting to anyone? Well, of course, the answer is it's not. But I guess they're saving some kind of maybe a big reveal or something who the father is. Maybe that's a big thing in there. Because I was looking for it. I mean, I could have missed it because who wants to read articles about this crap? I don't know who this hot chick is. Oh, that's the artist. Wow, the artist is hot. Look at that. Sorry. I don't think so. That's probably not the artist. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not her. I'm just kidding. So the artist probably is not Yoshi. This chick is hot right here, but that can't be the artist, right? His face is the father. Diener, you just knocked it out of the park right there, my friend. Yes. He will be a terrible person. He will be a bad dad. So is he Dick Grayson? Is he Oswald Cobblepot? Is he, in fact, the Marvel crossover to the Blob? Will we find out in this thrilling YA graphic novel? I ask you. It's just hard being the daughter of a galaxy-wide known super hottie. Aww. Remember Gotham High, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, look at the rankings of Gotham High. This book is currently ranked at 1 bazillion, whatever Amazon bestsellers category. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there you have it, folks. It's tough being the daughter of Starfire for some reason. She's a high school outcast, and she is constantly trying to get out from her shadow of her bright, bubbly, scantily clad, and famous mother. Dyes her. She has bright orange hair, so she got the hair color from her mom, I guess. Dyes it black and goes goth. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There you go, folks. I look. I know you're all ready to order this thing. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's canon or not, Marcy, but Mark with the Seed. Now, anything current or modern, none of it matters to me anyway. But is it canon with what they're doing with modern DC garbage now? I don't think it's considered that because it's the scholastic stuff. No, I don't think it's even considered by the DC. But no, I don't think so. Not that it matters because their modern canon crap is garbage also. So I don't believe so. I think it's just kind of there. Oh boy. Well, what can you do? Good luck with that, Mariko. Good luck selling this comic, this wonderful graphic novel. So I hope if it will come out. I guess I can't. Did anyone? I think that Gotham High crap came out. I think somebody in the fandom ministry reviewed it, if I'm not mistaken, but I can't remember if anyone did or not. Maybe Yellow Flash reviewed. I'm sure Yellow Flash will review this, or your boy Zach or Umbrella Guy, somebody like that. They'll probably enjoy reviewing this thing, and I'll watch those videos. They're all fantastic. They do great reviews. So yeah, those guys will probably review it when it comes out, and they'll be the only ones buying it. That's 3 people right there, and you can probably be sure will be buying this. I bet Gary will buy it. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Gary will probably buy this thing. I think he ordered New Warriors or whatever, but it never came out. I don't know. Marvel, you're a bunch of chicken shits. Or maybe you're just smarter. Now, you're not really smart, Marvel, but, if DC will put this trash out, maybe you should put New Warriors out. And sell your 20 copies. So, we'll see. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well, isn't that nice, folks? What can I tell you? Hope y'all... Hope you're all looking forward to that. But no, I don't think it's canon. Well, what's going on out there, gentlemen? I think I've kept you here long enough. Probably it's a Monday night. You all probably have better things to do unless you have something out there you want to holler at me about. I'm going to be on again about an hour earlier for tomorrow, like at 9 o'clock, because I got my buddy Flash coming on to talk some open talk and stuff. We got a few things I think I want to cover with him. So I'll probably be doing that tomorrow night. And again, I got Saturday show. I might try to do a daytime show this week, starting with a couple of my friends from across the pond who are asleep right now. And, of course, tomorrow night we'll be on with Loki, the great Loki. For Loki's, I think I will. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not going to be on there. I never see the... I forgot what we're talking about, though. But Loki's the man. Please check his channel out if you have not. All the channels below. Got a lot of things planned coming up. Again, I like doing topic shows. Look, one of the things out here, and again, it's just a niche type thing. I realize that. I love geek stuff. I am just as concerned about all the different things going on right now in the culture. I really believe we are fighting a culture war against a lot of bad elements who destroy all of our things that we love. And we got to keep doing that. It's just that, I'm kind of just a small channel anyway. I'm a small fry. And, I would be glad to talk about all that kind of stuff, but everyone's really doing a wonderful job of doing that kind of stuff anyway. So many people are. So I think it's good also to have channels just having a little bit of fun, talking about, not so much issues of the day, but kind of geek stuff. And you got a lot of people who are a lot younger than me that talk about more of the new things coming out when it comes to comics. The few people who are talking about any of that kind of stuff. And people who know games. I don't know games. I'm not a gamer. Who know video games and things like that, talking about that kind of stuff. So I kind of my niche has always been kind of talking older stuff. Whether it's older comics, whether it's Star Trek, Doctor Who, things like that. But there's certain things that everybody's doing. That, one more person, like everyone, this story, I was just talking about it a little bit because I had a few things to say about it. But everyone's covered. There are a bunch of really great videos on it by a lot of great reviewers. People reviewing it or talking about this news. So sometimes I will add my 2 cents on things like that. But a lot of times I like to do topics. And on Saturday nights, I guess I'm going to try to keep that day as my focus day. And I got the Treasury Tabloid Edition Supersized Comics Comics Collectors Show Saturday night for that. Mark C and I will be doing a lot more with comics. Also, the wonderful Raquel Briggs and I will be doing more Star Trek shows, things like that. Stuff like that, because everyone right now is really covering The Mandalorian a lot, for example. I don't know, anyone out there, any of you even watching The Mandalorian? What am I saying? Who isn't watching The Mandalorian? Everyone's watching it, right? And that seems to be the big topic out there. And, so I guess there's no point in me doing a whole show about that when everyone else has reviewed it all before me. I don't get to watch it until my son gets home and we find it on our, we sail high seas to grab it or whatever. So I don't get to watch. I tell you what, the reviews of that thing, people start talking about that thing. You cannot, if you glance at social media after Thursday night, or if you watch the Friday Night Tights, which I love, you're going to hear everything there is. You better, if you hadn't watched it already, you're going to hear everything there is to know about that show. You're not watching Mandalorian. Well, there you go. I admit I am, but man, I totally get a lot of people are, but it just seems like so many people are. So many people are doing reviews of it. If you know what I mean. Apollonie's Minion, a lot of people really are watching it a lot, and it's just, I can see I don't know if you're just not a Star Wars fan or it just doesn't interest you. I don't watch new stuff that much. I'm that old guy sitting on the porch, not really wanting to watch much new stuff. So for me to even be watching this, I don't know. I guess it's out of interest, but I don't know what is everyone watching right now, because You'd laugh at me. Eric. I love Friday Night Tykes. It's the greatest. And, of course, Doomcock's Friday Frolics is great, too, as well. Lately, I don't know, the older I get, and this is, man, well, I guess it's because it's comics. I'm a geek that way. The older I get, the more I need geek stuff, and the more I need cartoons. I'm watching a lot of cartoons a lot, man. Is that bad when you get really old and you start watching cartoons? I mean, I've always loved cartoons, but when I would rather watch that than a live action thing, is that bad? I feel like it might be bad. I don't know. Yes, that evil Pew Baba. Oh my God. So I've been watching Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. What a great, for like my 5th time to binge watch that. Disney Star Wars killed. You know what? Disney Star Wars killed a lot. And they did kind of kill my passion for it too. Maybe that's why, the Polymenian Minion, maybe that's why now when I watch that, The Mandalorian, I can go, it's okay, but it doesn't, the passion's not there. My passion, however, will never die for Star Wars 77. I'm one of those that hates saying New Hope. It was Star Wars. I only say 77 because all these people like to say episode 4. And my all-time favorite film, The Empire Strikes Back. I hate the Disney filth. Yeah, I didn't hate Rogue One that much. I thought it was okay, but a lot of people don't like it, and I don't blame them for that either. I'm no big defender of it either. Just have to compared to the other trash. I hated Force Awakens from get-go. I hated Last Jedi more than anything. And the rise of Palpatine is a piece of filth. Now, see, there I can get behind that, Mark. See? As you know, because I've done a show recently defending Enterprise. I love Star Trek Enterprise to me. And I love old Doctor Who, and I like the Clone Wars cartoon too. So that's cool stuff. So yes, none of this new shit. There's a lot of talk out there, and I don't know what you guys think about this, where some people say, and there's no right or wrong here. You can't blame them. That some of this new filth, like that horrible Picard trash, has ruined the Next Generation for some people. It didn't ruin the Next Generation for me because it's not real Trek. STD filth is not real Trek. Jar Jar Abrams' shitty reboot movies are not real Trek. Star Trek, like a few things that I love right now, or that I've loved for decades, has an expiration date. Star Trek is 1966 to 2005. Anything else is not Star Trek. I had to do that with Doctor Who personally. Doctor Who is 1963 to 2013 for me, 50 years. And after that, I'm done. Even though I've still watched it all the way up to this last horrible shit they've done. That's absolutely true, Eric. No question about it, my friend. I really do agree. I've had to just discard the past 7 years, and to me, it's just it's dead. Of course, New Who, even though I liked the first few years of it up until the 50th anniversary, the real old Doctor Who's still special to me. So all these horrible, destroyed, things that have happened to these beloved franchises of mine and many others, I do understand when someone says it's killed their love. They hate that, and so much so it affects their love for the old stuff when they go back. I'm fortunate enough not to have that. Yeah, well, Eric, dude, I love Enterprise. I'm one of those. Well, we did a show defending it and loving it because a lot of people trash Enterprise. No show's perfect; it has its faults, but I love it unabashedly, and I make no apologies for it. Not that I don't agree with some of the criticisms, but I love it. And yes, Jolene Blaylock is an OMG for sure, but love her. Oh my gosh, she was just spectacular. But it seems like a lot of the things I love have expiration dates. Like I said, Star Trek, 1966 to 2005. Doctor Who, 1963 to 2013. Star Wars, 1977 to 2000, I guess 5. Yes, I count the prequels. I mean, I'll say 2000. I'll say 2015 because even though the prequels or whatever, a lot of people don't like them, and I understand they have their faults. I like things in them, but to me, they're still Star Wars. And anything until a lot of EU is Star Wars. I like a lot of EU stuff, not all of it. 2005 was the death of 15 was the death of Star Wars for me, with the Force Awakens. Oh my goodness, the wonderful, beautiful Katie Carr has popped in. I'm so honored to see you here, my friend. I'm rewatching Enterprise, and I love the later seasons. Just watched the amazing Stormfront. Yes, um, my take on Enterprise is not necessarily the conventional wisdom, Katie, but I love the first two seasons as well. They have a lot of great episodes in those first two, because a lot of people say they only like the fourth season, and I understand because directionally the fourth season was making some I guess modifications, if you will, or some and changing some things here and there, which I do appreciate for sure. But I love the first two seasons. The Xindi arc of the third season, I have some issues with making the whole season about the Xindi War. However, I still like it, and I think, Katie, I think they had some great standalone episodes in the third season during the Xindi arc that were not necessarily tied in with that story. Let's see, I could talk about Enterprise all day. With the same with DS9 and Voyager. I think Brendan Braga and Rick Berman did a great job. The writing had conviction, something shows don't have anymore. I'll be, full disclosure, Katie. I've had my criticisms of Berman and Braga, but I also have had my praises of them. No one's perfect, after all. And I think their hearts were in the right place is the most important thing. And, nobody's perfect, but I look back on that so much more fondly. I love Deep Space Nine. I have so much respect for the way the tone and all the aspects that the things they did with Voyager and Enterprise. And I admit you can say whatever you want about any individual episode. You can like one show better than another, but those are still quintessential Star Trek. They have all of the Star Trek characteristics that are necessary for Star Trek, and they're a big happy place for me. The older I get, and I'm old, I'm one of those. The original series is my favorite. But now I've decided, after that, of course, because for that just like gigantic love I have for the original series, I just love all the other ones so much more now. And there was a time when I didn't love them as much, Katie. I got to tell you, it took me a while. I had to go back. Not all that long ago in my life, after being a staunch original series guy who did watch the other ones here and there, and I went back. And now over the past few years, and I'm not saying it's entirely because of how horrible Star Trek has been treated and run through the mud and just pretty much turned into a corpseified monster. It's also because I've gone back and given, you get older and you change, and we're all different, but I've evolved to a point where I went back and was more understanding. I was very hard-headed. I wanted it to be the original series, and I got kind of dragged kicking and screaming to the other ones. And I love them now. Obviously, they're bad episodes of all of the series, for me. And we might disagree on which ones are good or bad, but they're episodes of the original series that I think are horrible. So bad episodes are one thing. But even a bad episode, I'm like, that was bad. But now I look at the garbage today and I'm going, well, at least that might be bad, but it's Trek. Because like human beings themselves, there's bad and good. So let's see. Enterprise had strong people with flaws and written well. That's absolutely right, and that's what you have to have. Dieter, let's see. I'm just concerned how they were always turning people into monsters. Yeah, Brendan Braga had this strange proclivity of doing the whole monster transformation stories. That's true. I had a buddy of mine who was a Trek fan but used to make fun of Braga for kind of doing that. Look, I love Braga. He's working on the Orville now. But He did do that a little bit. He is responsible for some of the weird monster transformation stories. That's true. I mean, personally, B&B are my favorite writers besides Gene, and even make mistakes with some shows. I honestly think shows like Voyager Enterprise age with grace and class. That is so true, Katie. I absolutely agree with that. I think they have aged better, and they both. But those two, not the new stuff that isn't even real Trek anyway, notwithstanding. I would definitely say Voyager and Enterprise get beat up on the most by people, which is fine. People can like whatever they like. I don't care. But they do get beat up on the most. But when you go back and watch them now, sure, you can see episodes that you don't like. But they have that spirit, and they have that wonderful Star Trek spirit in them. And people will disagree on which episodes are good or not. But they all have that so much. And going back on them now, considering the times we're in, they have aged. That's a wonderful way to put it. They have aged with grace and class. They have aged very well, and I think a lot of people going back to see the shows are saying that, or liking them better, even when they didn't like them as much when they saw them before. Yeah, well, no doubt about that, Mark. Yeah, Jolene and Linda Park, they're lovely. I do love both of them. Yes, Enterprise does have kind of a TOS feel to it, Mark. See, I've always thought, which I love. I love that. I always loved that about it. Linda and Julian were ladies and never lowered themselves like most women in entertainment today's times. That is absolutely true, Katie. And I really love their characters, and they are wonderful, no question about it. Yeah, Sleeping Dogs was a pretty good one. That one. Man, that Klingon ship was disgusting. That was a Raptor class Klingon ship, I believe. Yeah. I'm now I've binged Enterprise so many times I can jump around and just land on just kind of random episodes here and there and just watch them. My favorite episode, the wonderful Raquel Briggs and I did our favorite episodes of all the series recently, and my favorite one of Enterprise of all of them is First Flight. But and Katie had said that she just watched Stormfront. Wasn't Stormfront the first one of the fourth season, if I'm right, Katie? If I'm getting that right, I remember one, and it was a good one. But I remember being really irritated at the end of season 3, back when it first aired, Katie, when we had all that crap we went through for the for the the Xindi story arc, and then when they save Earth and they all think Archer's dead and stuff. I remember sitting there, I was watching it with my son at the time in 2000, whatever it was, 3 or 4. And when we get the cliffhanger thing, because we wanted it to be done, we wanted to go, all right, we wanted it. And when they cliffhangered us, because TV, that's a proclivity with television now anyway. Every season has to end with a cliffhanger now. When they ended it with another cliffhanger, we had to wait. I was pretty aggravated with it, even though I thought the conclusion of was okay. But then we had Stormfront, which I believe a 2-parter. Stormfront was the season 4 premiere. My favorite Enterprise is Broken Bow. I love Broken Bow and Stormfront. Unpopular opinion, I really like the series finale. These are the voyages. The final scene was great. I hate that episode, but I will agree with you because multiple things can always be true at the same time, Katie. I love that final scene with which was the beginnings of the Federation. I would love to see a whole episode about that instead of what they did. But let me tell you something. Never have a problem with you when you acknowledge that you have an unpopular opinion, because I sit around sometimes going through my large file of unpopular opinions that I have in terms of geek stuff. And I go, holy crap, whether it's Doctor Who or Star Trek or comics, I go, oh my God, I like this and everyone hates that one. Or there's this one I really, really like, and I know everyone would rag on me for liking that, which I'm going to do it when I'm going to do a show called Unpopular Opinions one day. So everybody's got them, Katie, and they're fun too. But you're like, oh, well, I like this one. Go ahead and beat me up on it, but I like it. So, and I love Broken Bow. I really love that episode. It has its faults, but I really thought it was a great beginning. Yeah, I agree with that as well. With the Space to Final Frontier stuff with the captains was great. It just makes me cry too because the show should not have ended. But I do that too, Eric. I'll think of some opinion I have, and I'm talking just silly crap, there's Doctor Who. Doctor Who's one of those, because before I started having a lot of contact with my British friends who love Doctor Who, through internet, there were episodes that I really loved, and I found out that my Brit buddies, and I find out this more and more, when they will mention, as an example of a what they consider a garbage episode of original Doctor Who, they'll name one and they'll go, wow, everyone hates that. And they say that everyone hates or is generally despised. And I'll go, maybe it's just because I'm an American. I'm an ugly American. But I like that episode. That happens to me a lot with Doctor Who. I mean, it happens to me with other stuff, but with Trek, not as much, but Trek a little bit, actually, because I've been defending Enterprise so long. And I'm going, maybe I don't agree with myself either. It happens. But yeah, Broken Bow, Katie, got me. It was the one that did. I mean, because the pilot is kind of supposed to hook you. Yeah, that's what it's there for. And I remember I was walking out of my house to go to work that morning that Broken Bow was going to premiere. I had one of those DVD recorders, believe it or not. They had those back then. At that point, I still had my VCR. And I wasn't even going to watch it because I was not a Quantum Leap guy. I was not a Quantum Leap fan that much. So I was not going to record. Really wasn't going to watch this thing, but I remember I'd watched the first episode of all the other ones. So I stopped and went in let me record it and I'll just watch it. What else is there to do? And then I got back and Broken Bow. I was so impressed with it that made me watch the show from then on, from the first day. I have tons of unpopular opinions. Trek opinions for loving Chakotay's 7 of 9 pairing. I think that it was underrated. Well, I'm with you there. Are there people that don't like the Chakotay 7 of 9 deal? You are, by the way, the expert on Voyager. I've never seen anyone, even though we don't know each other that well, I've just seen from tweets. Nobody has the passion for Voyager that I've ever seen more than you. And, of course, the knowledge of it. You seem to be, I mean, if I need to ask a Voyager question, I'm going to bug you. I'm going to bug you and ask you because, I mean, you are the expert on that one. And so you'd know. I've been fighting the Enterprise fight for 20 years, but I did not know people don't like the Chakotay 7 of 9 pairing. I'm not, as a dude, I'm kind of, I don't really think much like that much one way or the other, but it worked for me. I didn't know people didn't like it. I was fine with it. When I went back and started watching Voyager again a few years ago to watch the ones I hadn't watched and to watch it in order and all that stuff, I'd gone by just not the few I'd seen, and I'd gone with a lot of people who were not, I guess, not Voyager fans or didn't like it much or whatever. They would always people I don't know, people kind of picked on Chakotay a lot. Or I would see in just certain circles where people didn't like him. Or, not everybody, of course, and I said, well, no one likes Chakotay. What's the deal? So let me watch it. I started watching it over again after not watching it for a long time. And I like him. I don't understand why anyone doesn't like him. I think he's a great character, and I think he's good. I really like the actor, so I never really got any of the Chakotay hate there. I thought he was pretty cool. I think he was a good character. Seems to be the most hated relationship in Trek. And I've been attacked nonstop for people who hate them for some reason. It's sad because for me and some friends, it was there from the start. Huh. Well, I did not know that, Katie. I never knew anyone had a problem with it. Sure doesn't bug me at all. I mean, uh, I did think the Troy and Worf thing was a little off. I wasn't big on that, but as a dude, like I say, relationships like that, as long as they're not really, really terrible, they don't really and don't get in the way. It doesn't bother me that much anyway. But that one, Troy Worf didn't work for me that well. I was kind of, and I like Worf Dax kind of, but that was always kind of, I don't know, a little different for me. But it was good, I guess. I have a group chat on Instagram called the Chavens, Chakotay and Seven, because we absolutely love the relationship and appreciate how Chakotay has broken Seven from the Borg and Scorpion. Scorpion was a good one. Well, they're good. So again, I'd heard people say stuff about Chakotay and that one. I didn't know anybody really had a problem with their relationship, but it works for me. And I love Seven. And full disclosure on that, let's see. Yeah, Worf Jadzia. I don't know. I guess I got used to it, but it took a while because they're so different. Just Worf. Look, I love Worf. Don't get me wrong, but he's such a grouch. And Odo Kira, that's a good one. And again, as a dude, only go so far with that kind of stuff. I guess I mean, as long as it makes sense to a story, I'm fine. I don't get wrapped up in it too much, but I can see it and I can like it. And I guess again, being a guy, I love Jadzia from a man standpoint, and I love Kira from a man standpoint. And but the Odo Kira one was beautiful, and because it went on for so long, and they took their time with it, which was good. I liked Kirk. Yeah, I liked Kirk in anything really. That's what we love. Kirk. Well, television was different back then. Episodic television didn't carry story threads on the original series. And there was no one on, Kirk's relationship was with the ship. So, of course, he was a ladies' man, and he was, he played around. And we as guys like that kind of James Bond thing, where the guy's playing around and stuff. So Kirk, his relationships were never really dealt with that much. Yep, Kirk and Batgirl, Yvonne Craig from Whom Gods Destroy, yeah. The Orion slave girl. Well, we love her. We love Yvonne Craig. But yes, Kirk never had anything like that, like a long, there was no one to pair him up with. But in that case, the captain, you don't do that. For example, Picard didn't have one. He had relationships sometimes, but as far as with a regular on the show, it didn't happen. With Cisco, they did it, but they did it with a semi-regular on the show, and he was not the captain of a starship. It was a space station, a little bit bigger. With Voyager, same deal. Janeway didn't have any kind of long-term relationship with a member of the crew. They would touch on it with individual stories, but she started out, she already was in a relationship when she got stuck in the Delta Quadrant. So the captain of the ship, you can't do that much with. Voyager 7 was my favorite in the franchise. Yep. Oh, Voyager 7. Such an amazing and inspiring role model for women. What STP did, let's say, it's not canon to me. No offense to anyone who liked it. However, and you're a very nice, gracious person, Katie. And in deference to you, I won't go brutal on what I think of STP or even give you some of the really nasty names I have for it, but I'll say this: what Star Trek Picard did to 7 of 9, not to mention Jean-Luc Picard and everyone else, was an absolute nothing short of a disgrace. And without going too far into it, was an absolute abomination. Obviously, what they did to Jean-Luc Picard was an abomination. The whole show's a piece of filth to me, and it's not Star Trek, but the thing that makes me not only angry, but really sad, almost really sad, is what they did to the character of 7 of 9. It was an absolute disgrace. And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. I don't know Jerry Ryan. I'm sure she's a perfectly lovely person. And I don't hold any ill will towards her. It's easy for us to criticize people like that, but people take a gig when they need a gig, and maybe she did. I don't know. Maybe I got to think, and I can't speak for her, but I got to think that deep down, maybe she really didn't give it a lot of thought. She just took a job. And then later, when a lot of people have rightly criticized what they did to the character of Seven, she may be capable of some introspection, and maybe on balance today, or maybe one day, she'll realize it's a really tragic shame what they did to that character. But however she feels about it, she's in this position that I can't understand. What I will say is, it's disgusting, in my opinion, what they did to her. And Trip to Paul. A lot of people didn't like Trip to Paul. I remember that, but I liked it. It was fine with me. I don't know. What you think they were gambling? They were gaming on Archer to Paul, and it went the other way. I don't know. But yeah, see, Cisco and Cassidy was great because she wasn't a member of the crew or anything, and it was a space station. So when it comes to that sort of thing, I don't know how we got on the relationship thing, but I guess it's just kind of a shame what they've done to these characters. But that's the lovely thing about that thing I always call, my friends, headcanon. You see, we human beings are our own little micro universes inside our heads, and our imaginations are universes. They are universes. And as such, you get to do whatever you want inside your own little headcanon, inside your own little imagination. And if you decide there's some iteration of a character, because I've had to do that with comic books all my life, with comic book characters that I love being ruined way before they started doing it to Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who. I've had to put up with comic book characters that I love ruined in the same manner in the 80s and the 90s and beyond. So I've just learned to decide, look, that's not the real version of my character. I'm not going to remember them that way. I'm not going to want them to be that way. Got my mother-in-law to watch TNG despite never watching sci-fi. She loved Picard, and we both thought the new series was a travesty. It's an absolute disgrace, and they should be ashamed he and Patrick Stewart should be ashamed of himself for soiling that great character. And it took me a while to admit he was a great character. I'm a Kirk guy. What can I tell you? Let's see here. Archer and DePaul. Headcanon. There you go. Archer and DePaul, Katie, they did have kind of potential, but it kind of goes back to what I was saying. I think the captain just has to stop himself from doing that kind of thing. And in that episode, the one that was like Memento, in the third season where he had the memory, the short-term memory problem. I can't remember the name of it. I'm so aggravated with myself. It kind of showed you that she had a real fierce loyalty to him, in spite of the fact that there may have been some kind of possible attraction here and there. It was similar to a Kirk Spock thing, except, of course, they were both. I mean, it was undeniable that she's just such a beautiful woman that it couldn't be easy for Archer, where it's easy for Kirk because he's not attracted to Spock, no matter what any modern day people say. But, still, I think Archer was decent and proper enough to know that that's my first officer. I can't do anything. But she was kind of the same way. I really loved DePaul's loyalty to Archer that started to really grow in the first season and into the second season. By the end of the second season, or by the end of the first season, it was really up there. And it was really great. I really liked the 1995 Twilight Zone revival. Anyone remember the episode with 3 people living miles underground with a doomsday switch to guard against an alien invasion? Ending freaked me out. Was that the 1985 version, or did you mean 1980? 1985, Mark with a C? I don't remember a 95 one. I remember the 85 one. And then there was one in 2000-ish. That episode's not ringing the bell. But I'm a big Twilight Zone fan of the original series. And I did like what I saw of the 85 revival show, I didn't think it was as good as the original series, but the 95, huh? I don't remember that one. I remember the 1985 one on CBS. So I can't speak to that one. I don't remember an 85 version. I know that they brought it back in the early aughts on UPN for a while there in the early 2000s. So I don't know, Mark Seaton, but I can't speak to that. I don't know about that. Well, I don't know. I'll have to try to remember. I'll try to look into that one because I did not. As Johnny Carson would say, I did not know that. Wow, that is wild, weird stuff. Ed, on Showtime. Okay, the Showtime, but that wasn't Outer Limits. You sure that wasn't Outer Limits, man? Maybe it was Twilight Zone. I didn't know they did a Twilight Zone then. Shows what I know. Ed, is Doc here tonight? Oh, you are correct, sir. Oh, Mr. Boyd. That's crazy. It's wild stuff. I don't understand that I can't remember that. That is just really wild stuff, Ed. Eric K he is Ed McMahon in the chat. I'm sorry I do a crappy Carson. Sue me. Oh boy. Well, I tell you what, everyone. I just Oh, it was Outer Limits. Okay, because I remember the 90s Outer Limits, but I did not see that episode, though. Okay. Outer Limits, the original series, man, in the 60s. Good God, that was... back then, science fiction, other than the forays into science fiction that Rod Serling's Twilight Zone would take, the best science fiction anthology, aside from that, of course, was Outer Limits. You know, and science fiction was not treated in an adult manner, other than Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, and then Star Trek. So, yeah. And I do love Outer Limits. I know what series you're talking about. I didn't get to see that new one, though. I don't know if I ever got to watch that. I knew of it, but I don't think I got to watch it much. Or not much, anyway. So I'd have to check that one out. But the old show, which did not last long, Outer Limits, the original series from the 60s, early 60s, is fantastic. Especially Harlan Ellison's Demon with a Glass Hand episode with Robert Culp. So, anyway. Well, what can we do? We've just we stumbled all over the place and talked about some stuff here and there. And of course, I could talk to you people all day. Even though you get bored, I can't help it. I love talking to you. You're all so much fun to talk to. And I guess I'll start wrapping it up. I'm going to be here tomorrow night again for an hour earlier at 9 p.m. Central with my buddy Flash, whom we have not gotten together to do a show in a while. And we were, of course, regulars for all those years, 11 years on he was a regular with me. I was on Blog Talk Radio for 11 years, 700 episodes on there. And he did, for many years, he did the show with me. And it's never been the same without him. But one of the things I really love was, Nimoy and his son. Yeah. No, I may have saw that one. I may have seen that one. Nimoy and his son. They did, because Nimoy was on Outer Limits before. Then they did a sequel episode on that Outer Limits. I think. Mark with a C? I think so. Maybe I did see one of those. You know how the memory goes. Look, I'm old, man. The memory goes, my friend. But I just want to thank everyone for hanging out with me tonight. Just jibber-jabbering about fun stuff. Because in case you hadn't noticed, if it comes to comic books or it comes to Star Trek, I don't shut up very often. And I love to talk about it. And I all have all these things to say. And I love talking Trek. Again, very soon I'm going to try to get my wonderful, beautiful friend Raquel Briggs to come back on with me to talk Star Trek. One of these days I want to talk Star Trek Voyager with Katie Carr, but I don't know if I'll be able to talk her into coming on. But if not, if she doesn't want to come on, at least you got to come hang with us in the chat sometimes when we talk about it, Katie. But I would love to talk to you about that show because I know you love it. Darth Hauster! Hey, buddy. Hauster, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. And so, again, things coming up in the future. This Saturday night, I will be talking about treasuries, those oversized, supersized comics, with my friend and comic book collector extraordinaire, Wes. After tomorrow night with our open show tomorrow night, of course, with Flash. And things in the future. There's your ears were burning. I'm just saying, Katie's here, and we've been having some fun Trek talk tonight. There, anytime, Katie, and I would love to have you talk to them because you're Voyager. Um, Good to see you here, Dark. Oh, you just got off yours. Cool, man. Raquel Briggs, my beautiful, wonderful friend who has popped in. We've got to find we've got to find a Trek topic to talk about, and it can be anything. If you got any ideas, because I've been trying to think of what would be good for us to talk about. And again, it can be light. It doesn't have anything it doesn't have to be anything that you have to do a lot of study for. It can just be off the cuff. We can talk about. You can pick an episode that you want to talk about. You can pick a character you want to talk about, or we can do that one that maybe we talked about the characters, our favorite of the main characters of each of the series. Maybe we could do one where we talk about our favorite recurring characters. Well, look, Katie, there you go. We would love to have you. You are more than welcome. I will hit you up, and we'll do that. Plans for the future, of course, other than some wonderful Trek talk with the wonderful Raquel Briggs, and of course Katie. Sometime, I hope. And both, let's see here again. Saturday night, talking the Treasury editions. Hopefully, my good buddy Michael French from Retro Blasting is going to be joining me soon to do a Doctor Who show. I have not ironed that out yet. He is a busy man. He has a great channel, which is down. I love you too, Raquel. You're the greatest. In the description below, Retro Blasting. If you're a child of the '80s, or you just like the '80s, and you love the cartoons and the toys, and not just the '80s, but he kind of focuses a lot on the '80s. He does the most amazing, brilliant. The videos are incredible. If you're a fan of G.I. Joe, He-Man, Star Wars vintage toys, he's my Star Wars guru. I've had him on here talking about The Empire Strikes Back, our mutual favorite movie back in August. And he was on my show for many, many years, many years on Blog Talk Radio when I was on there. And he's just a great friend, and he has a wonderful channel called Retro Blasting. Go check that channel out. He's got 11 years or like 10 years of videos on there almost. And he just does spectacular stuff. Not like me. All I do is live stream. I don't know anything. I'm nothing, but he's an expert, and he is great. And he is a wonderful pal, and he is going to be talking. You don't have to share it, Raquel. I'm closing up anyway, so that's cool. But I appreciate that. And by the way, Raquel Briggs is a writer, as you all know, and stuff. And there's a link down below in this very description where you can find a link to her work. It's down there. I think that link is still good, Raquel. I think I hope it's the right one. So yeah, Retro Blasting and many other channels. Of course, the great Stone Loki, my good buddy, who I will be on with him tomorrow night at 7. Then at 9, I'll be doing my show with Flash. Again, the Saturday show. And in the future, I want to do shows about old comic book fanzines. I'm going to do a lot of comic stuff. You know me. I'm going to do more Legion of Superhero shows. I'm going to do Starlog magazine fairly soon. Again, a lot of Trek talk coming up. Getting them all planned and worked out and everything. Of course. And Trek talk is what I really... it's down there. I keep it down there all the time there, Raquel. And I always tell everyone to go check out all those links down there. And what else? Well, I'm going to try... I might be trying... because a lot of you probably won't be interested in this because you may not be familiar with the show. But I dearly love a very relatively obscure British show called Blake's 7, which I love very much. And I've done a couple of shows on that. I usually kind of do those in the daytime because I do them with it's a British series, and a couple of my Brit friends who love it. They're on, such a different time. And thanks, Darth. By the way, my buddy, if someone, I don't have that link to his channel, but please go to Darth Hauser's channel. I forgot to put it in my links there. I'm sorry about that, Darth, but I will change that. But anybody in there who does have a wrench power in there, if you got someone, please put Darth's link And go subscribe to my friend Darth Haster's channel. And all the ones below, of course. Where was I? Where was it? Where was it? I will be doing Blake 7 with some of my friends across the pond, and we'll probably do some daytime shows with my buddy Problem Being. And I will be, and of course, the wonderful starry-eyed girl. I'm trying to get her to come on. She wants to talk some Blake 7 with me. I'm excited about that. And again, this Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern, I will be a guest on the lovely, wonderful Lorena Creole show. Lorena Creole is, of course, as many of you know, Lorena Creole is a wonderful, beautiful lady who does a remarkable show, and she does daytime and night, I believe. She's on with the Toxic Femininity ladies, and she's just wonderful, wonderful lady, and who has asked me to come on to. She wants me to. She wants to show me a bunch of her old comic books, so that I can give her kind of an idea of if she has anything collectible there or not, because she's had them for a long time, and she wants to get some advice on her comics, and we're going to talk about that. And I'm pretty rusty at that kind of stuff, I guess. It's been a while. But, oh yeah, Starry-Eyed Girl is really terrific. I love her. She's such a sweetheart. And the wonderful Purple Valkyrie, of course, I love her too. I'm going to try to get her on soon, because she loves a lot of the same comics I love. And so I'm going to try to help her out with some of Lorena with some of her comic collection if I can. If I can be of help. Hey, Eric, thank you, my friend. That's my buddy Darth Haster. Please take a look at his channel as well, because he's a nice dude. And he's a fellow wrench on Latino Slant. Of course, Latino Slant is another great channel. My great buddy Paulie, please go follow his channel as well. But yes, I will be doing some Blake 7, and I'll be on there with Lorena. And I hope I'm the guy for the job. I don't know. My memory's not what it was, but I will try to help her in any way that I can. And once again, I want to thank the great, legendary, our good buddy, the magnificent Doomcock, Lord Doomcock, who gave me a shout out. Again, it's not a big deal. It's not a lot of subs. In fact, I lost a sub. I went back one, but I did cross the 200 mark. And so of course, I put a issue 200, a bunch of comic issue 200s up there. Yeah, Purple Lady is wonderful. Oh, well, you're too kind, Raquel. Thank you so much. We'll have fun. It'll be fun. But I did cross the 200 mark. Big whoop, I know. But it was all because my buddy Doomcock gave me a shout out. So I want to give him a shout out back. Doomcock's a wonderful person and a great friend. Oh, and Darth wrenches for the Valkyries. Again, there's a link to the Valkyries down there below. The Rise of the Valkyries with the beautiful, exactly, Raquel, absolutely. With the beautiful Valkyries, Purple Valkyrie and Samantha Joe. They're wonderful. They do a wonderful show in the mornings. And just love them. They're really great. And, of course, they're part of the wonderful Valhalla that belongs to the great Stone Loki. Again, we'll be on Loki's show tomorrow night at 7. And then doing my own, another open show tomorrow night at 9. That's 9 Central. Yeah. Eric, you got that about you, man. You get a wrench everywhere. That's why, I got to be honest with you, I felt bad just throwing you a wrench because I figured, like, who am I? Presumptuous of me just to hand you a wrench like that and expect you to work for me or something. I mean, because you're my buddy, you're my friend coming in there. You never have to you don't owe me anything, and you certainly don't have to do that. But at the same time, I like you to have carte blanche to show that I respect you at your extraordinary, standing in the community as a legendary wrench for a lot of channels. So, and you've been such a good pal to me. I had to throw you a wrench there. And again, also, I had so much fun here. I moved to YouTube back in April, and it's been fantastic. We met so many great friends. And I wrench for my good buddy Paulie on Latino Slant on Thursdays and whenever else he does shows. And so please go check him out too. So I want to thank everyone who popped in here tonight. There were a whole bunch of great, wonderful friends. Monday night might be my mainstay night because, as I was saying earlier, you just got to pick a night. And it's tough. I appreciate that, buddy. I'm honored, Eric. Thank you, my friend. But you got to pick a night. There's just so many people doing shows. So many wonderful people in this great community of the fandom minutes. So many of them doing shows. You just got to do your show, even though everyone else is doing them too. You don't like to step on anybody, but you got to do it when you got to do it, And I want to thank everyone. Katie Carr, thank you so much for popping in. I am always honored to see you. You are a wonderful lady, and you're just such a great person, and I appreciate you, and I love your knowledge of Star Trek, and I love your passion for Star Trek, and you are the biggest, by far, well, you're a Trek fan in general, of course, but and a huge Trek fan, but you are the greatest Voyager fan I've ever come across, and I just appreciate you so much. So, Katie, I'm honored that you stopped by and hung out with us a little bit tonight, and I hope we get a chance to talk soon, and we do. It will be Voyager, of course, because that is your I'll Trek, of course, but we'll talk about it. I hope so soon. And yep, Voyager, you're home. She lives on Voyager. By the way, one quick thing. I live on Voyager sometimes too, and other ships. Have you any of you seen these videos with these 8 and 10 hour videos where you just turn on the you turn it on, and you can turn the sound on a little bit, and it has the background hum of like it was their sleep videos on YouTube, and they're like beaches with rolling water coming up, or there are all these different vistas with these. You can just lay and you turn the sound on, and you can listen to the beach, the water washing up on the beach is supposed to be soothing and relaxing and help you sleep. I just noticed those videos. Yes, and the space ambient sounds. Well, they have Star Trek ones now. I don't know how long they've been having. They may say now, but I turn on the Star Trek one. Sometimes they've got, of course. They've got engine rooms from Voyager and the original series. They have DS9, Enterprise, Voyager sounds, even sick bay. They have original Enterprise for the original series sick bay. Yes, I just started discovering those, and before I saw the Trek ones, I was using the beach ones with the water washing up and stuff. But now, of course, I have to have the Trek ones. Yeah, Voyage. And so they got their rain ones. They're really cool. They're a fun idea. And naturally, I got to turn the Trek ones on. They even have an animated version of the TNG warp core. Now, the bridge is kind of noisy. So I'm glad I'm not the only one who's seen those things. They're really cool. Let's see here. It is nice. Yeah, they got the 8 hour ones. Those are pretty cool. So yeah, I've been kind of turning those on now, just sitting down on the couch and falling asleep for a few hours at night. It's pretty cool. So anyway, sorry about that. But yeah, I passed 200. Big whoop. But you got, like I said, you got to start somewhere. And I appreciate it so much. I'm having so much fun here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks to the beautiful and wonderful Raquel Briggs, the beautiful and wonderful Katie Carr, the almost beautiful Eric K, but he's only beautiful in a nice way. I'm just kidding. He's Eric's beautiful too. Yeah, Eric, you're beautiful, man. Don't let anyone tell you different, bro. But thank you, Eric. I appreciate you, buddy. Mark with a C, thank you, man. I want to say a shout out to Paulie, who was here earlier. He probably had to run and do something, but Latino Slant, my great buddy Paulie. Darth Haster, thanks for popping in, my friend. Love right back at you, beautiful lady. You were the best. You were the best, number one. Let's see if I can remember everyone who was here. This is not going to be easy. Mark with a C, thank you for being here, my friend. A lot of people came in. My good buddy Jobber was here earlier. Jobber, you the man. Just Joe 47, a.k.a. I've given away your secret identity, who was buddies with me from the old BTR days. My good buddy Charles McCreth was in here earlier. Charlie, I'm glad to see you, man. I was so happy to see you there. And now I'm going to have to beg forgiveness of anyone who I may have forgotten that popped in earlier. I can't remember everyone. I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago. I have a crappy old man's memory. except for useless geek stuff. Sometimes I'm okay at remembering that, and even that kind of suspect. But I want to thank you all, and again, my pleasure, Mark. Thank you again so much. I guess, just we'll get together soon. I'll be on tomorrow night. If anybody's got nothing better to do, I'll be hanging out with my buddy Flash. Hopefully he's coming on, and he is a great guy as well. And it's been a long time. So I miss him. We haven't been able to talk that much. So I'll be doing that, and again Saturday night with my friend Wes talking Treasury Editions. And of course, again, big thanks to Mark C for the show Saturday night that we did talking comics and showing his collection. All right, everyone. I guess I'll just play us out with the great. Oh yeah, the great Loki was here. Loki Mornings of Mischief. My great friend Loki was here. And one more thing. Rest in peace, David Prowse. David Prowse, thank you so much, sir, for what you've done for all of us. We love Darth Vader and we love you. And God bless you and warp speed. You the man. David Prowse is, of course, an icon, and we will miss him. And we hope, we know his legend will live on. And thank you, Stone Loki, for this outro. Thank you, everyone. Oh, yeah, and thanks to Diener, by the way, and anyone else I may have missed. I'm sorry. Good night, everyone. Take care now.